Way, good morning. Ultronymous right on time. But I wasn't on time. In fact, yeah, today's show is about 30 minutes later. Yeah, it's because it's one of those things, it's the middle of the week where the kids don't have school. People aren't doing anything because of the holidays. And so I pretty much decided to be a little lazy and just wait. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Well, yeah, interesting. The show yesterday ended up crashing. I was playing the Dynasty Warriors Origins, and interesting. And I don't know if it was because OBS and the game was running, but at first the game was running completely perfectly. I combined those two words. It was running completely fine for me, but on OBS I noticed it was like lagging, and then I would see the thing saying, "Hey, a lot of CPU usage." And then it got to a point while I was playing, that's when I think it crashed OBS, where it was actually, even my game, the frame rates were dropping like crazy. So, a couple things. It could be that it's both OBS and that game running, and it could be because this is the demo of the game, because a lot of times demos aren't too optimized. I've been coming across that a little bit recently. But I gotta say, for a Dynasty Warriors game, I loved the controls. Everything I was talking about that is missing in those games. Hey, Chris, Jim Killex, good to see you guys. Everything I was talking about that was missing in Dynasty Warriors for me in general, that was in Hyrule Warriors, for instance, is in this game. It has the lock on, it has a dodge, it has a parry, it has so many different things going on that I felt like it's the type of game that I'm going to enjoy, because I like to have a lot of options with the combat and stuff like that. So I'm really excited to play it when it comes out, and it comes out in January. So we already got 2 games in January. I'm very excited for Dynasty Warriors Origins and the Sniper Elite Resistance game. So that should be fun. Okay, real quick, we'll go to what I've been playing. So I had this little method I like that I've been doing this past week, where I play a little bit of Godzilla on PS3. Play like a level or 2. Then I play a little Outcast, maybe get some outposts or whatever. And it's not updating, it's unfortunate. Star Wars Outlaws, play a little bit of that. It's funny because both Godzilla and Outlaws I've beaten, like the story, and I'm really just going back to do other stuff. Let's see, Outlaws is just so much fun. Like, really, that game is fun. And you know what's crazy? Let me show you guys something real quick. Let's see. K-Vess voice actor. So the voice actor for the main character in Star Wars Outlaws is fantastic. Like, I feel like I'm hanging out with her, and at the same time, I feel like because what she says moment to moment, especially because a lot of times it's exactly what I think I would say in a situation. Like, there's a time where I'm like about to get to an Imperial base, so I'm kind of like in the mountains around it, crawling around, and then I'm like, okay, there's some stuff I can get, and I like jump down, and then I pick something up, then I hear, hey, who are you? And I turn around, and it's a stormtrooper, and what happens is, when they're first like seeing you and pointing at you, you could put your hands up. So I'm like, oh crap, and at the same time the character's like, oh crap, and then I'm putting the hands up, and then I'm like, well, and then I just like blast him, or and you feel like Han Solo, but it's like you're in sync with the character. Anyway, what I wanted to show you is she is a very good-looking woman, the voice actress, but I don't know why they didn't use her model. Instead, they changed. That's the weird thing, because even looking at, and some shots are better than others. That might be like, some shots are better than others for sure. But it's weird because the other actors, and I talked about this before, the other actors in this, the voice actors, it's using, the ones that aren't aliens, are using their actual face. So I think they took away from something here, because this voice acting is incredible. And I think she is nominated in the Game Awards, and for Outlaws not getting anything else, I hope she wins this, because I mean, it's every second that I am doing something in the game, she says what I'm thinking, because the game is so dynamic with all the systems in place that I'm thinking like, something like, oh, look what I got myself into, or like, man, what am I going to do about this? Or like, oh, there's a lot of stormtroopers there. And she's like saying this stuff as I'm thinking it. Let's see. I'm going to guess she was too attractive. Yeah, I wonder if that's really what it, because I hear that and you never get a confirmation that that's true, but I don't know. Stephanie Houston looked fantastic 9 years ago. Yeah, that's funny because that was a big deal because it was the voice actor and she was pretty and all that. And there's a long list of examples of this. So yeah, that's interesting that they would do that because there's because you don't get too many people that can really do good voice work, but also have a kind of an appealing look to them. But that's just another part of when I'm playing Outlaws that's just so fun because, again, I've beaten it. I'm just going, even yesterday I was playing a Sabat game, like it's the card game. And just it's like the game knows what voice lines to use based on what's happening, and the actress is pulling off this cool, like, confident, yet, I don't know. It's like the smuggler. You're the smuggler, and it's like the Han Solo simulator, and they pull it off really good. I suggest if you can play this game anyway. So yeah, what I'm doing is I'm just going to. It seems the best course of action to like clear the maps is you break into an Imperial installation, you try to hack the computers or find data pads that give you information on all of like the secrets on the planets around the world, and so. I'll just go into Imperial installation, and with the patch, it's so much easier now. I'll just go in and blast stormtroopers, disable all of the alarms, disable all the cameras. You can either do that by shooting them or hacking into their computer systems and disabling things. And I'll get to a point where I've killed every single stormtrooper. And then I'll just go hunt around for treasure. And a lot of times you can just go walk wherever you want because I've killed everybody. But if, I wanted to be careful, there's venting systems everywhere where you can use vents to get to where you need to. Anyway, just such a cool game. I think it's being overlooked for a lot of reasons. One with, some people grifting on the DEI stuff for every game, but also because, especially with Acolyte, in recent Disney stuff, there hasn't been a movie in a while for Star Wars. Like, Star Wars stuff hasn't been that neat like it used to be. So yeah, a little disappointing. Most of Star Wars characters in general aren't model attractive. Do remember part of the model performances are done through AI. Are you talking about in Outlaws? Because I think they've got that one dude, Jalen or Jay, I forget his name. He's a pretty attractive white dude. That's in that. And then her mom also is a pretty attractive woman. So it's like, and then, original Star Wars, you've got Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill. Star Wars has always had that attractiveness to it because it's part of the hero. I wouldn't say it's part of the hero's journey, but it's telling a story. And a lot of times you want to see someone attractive. I don't know. It'd be cool to have Outlaw style game for Gundam, I think. Yeah, exactly. And, playing right now, that's a good point because right now playing Outlaws, first step of hero's journey is to be attractive. Yeah, that's pretty good. So Star Wars Outlaws and Godzilla are both games that are you playing in those universes. And I think that's why I'm playing both of these right now. Because with the Godzilla game, I feel like I'm in that sandbox of Godzilla. And it's funny because I bring up that the game is not from the point of view of Godzilla. It's from the point of view of the humans. Like when you beat a level, they say, oh, we've lost. Oh, mission failed. But really, you won because you're Godzilla. And so with Star Wars Outlaws 2, it's that same thing where I'm living out the fantasy of being chased by stormtroopers in an Imperial base, lasers flying around, and I'm having to hide somewhere. And then the character's like, oh boy, what have I got myself into now? All that stuff. So yeah, Gundam needs that. And that's key here. Gundam needs a game to make you feel like you're in this universe that would be slightly scary because of the war and these mobile suits, and it should take place in a scenario where maybe you're in a colony or in a city, and mobile suits could be dropping down or whatever. I don't know. I think Steven and I could come up with something. But okay, so did I play anything else? No, that's about it. I like this sort of thing I'm doing. Outcast, Godzilla, Star Wars Outlaws. Playing a little bit of Splintered Fate, but since it's that whole you die and you start over, die and you start over, it kind of gets a little, repetitive. As for the AI, the system is run by AI for the in-game cutscenes. I haven't noticed anything that's interesting, that they're using AI for the in-game cutscenes. What do you mean, like generative AI, or that there's an AI in terms of how the characters react? I'm not sure, but dude, the in-game cutscenes are awesome. It evokes all that Star Wars. That's the thing. If you were to play Outlaws and you didn't want to spend your time doing the side missions, just do the main quest, the main storyline, and it's quick, and it's like a movie. It feels like A New Hope. It's almost like they redo A New Hope, but without the Jedi stuff. Because, by the end, you're escaping with your friends out of an Imperial installation, and there's more to it, but I don't want to get into it. The AI is adjusting the models as facial features and such. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, let me know if you have any articles about that, because I'm not too familiar with that. Jumping to news real quick. This is a weird one. PlayStation veteran Shuhei Yoshida is departing the company. So, Yoshida confirmed the news in a post on the PlayStation blog and explained he'll be departing on January 15th, 2025. So remember, he posted this on a website. And I don't think you can trust websites anymore. Because he's saying, I've been with PlayStation from the beginning, and this is my 31st year with PlayStation. When I hit 30 years, I was thinking, maybe about time for me to move on. The company's been doing great. He posted that on a website, so that's why it's like, is that why you're leaving? Because the company's been doing great? I love the PS5. I love the games that are coming out on this platform, and we have new generations of management who I respect and admire. So he's leaving because the company's doing great, and we have new generations of management who I respect and admire. And I'm really so excited for the future PlayStation, so PlayStation is in really good hands. I don't know. I wouldn't say that's true, but, it's not that I'm trying to knock on PlayStation or anything. I think it's in turmoil right now, what PlayStation's trying to do and trying to figure out. So him leaving right now seems to make sense because PlayStation was on a track. Even if the PS3 era was a little bumpy, that was more due to their hardware, the cost, but they still had good games, and they had, like, games that were super technically advanced, however you want to put that, but still video game-like. So, it could be he just wants to relax and retire. That really could just be it. But he didn't say that. It's funny how he's doubling down on the company's been doing great. I'm so excited for the future of PlayStation. It seems very PR to me. But, I mean, if I was in his shoes, like, they even diminished his role a few years ago also. And that's when Adam Boyes left, because he was working alongside another person that was about bringing certain games to the platform. Sony started, this is when, PlayStation really started restricting that output in a way, because they were going toward the direction of the narrative game. So, anyway, I could be, cynical, and it could be that he's just, it's time to move on. But I think being there from the beginning, being so pivotal in PlayStation, but we can see right now that PlayStation has completely changed. Most people that are part of the beginning of PlayStation aren't even there anymore. So, interesting. I think this is a big deal because Sony has this really cements that Sony has completely changed. They are no longer the same company. Sony PlayStation. Something else. There was some leaked prototype footage of the new Steam controller, and so I don't know how much this is where they have a new Steam controller come out that's a VR controller and a standard controller, which of course that could be the case, and it could be, maybe the future of controllers is having the split. Joy-Con did it, but then you could also use it for VR. But also, they have this, which is very interesting because it has the trackpads, and I do like that idea with the trackpads. PlayStation has one; it's up at the top, or PS5 at least, and what's interesting is there's like 3 placements for your thumb, and I feel like that almost takes away from, I don't know. And here's the other thing, and like I'm showing this Vader, was it Vader Pro 4 or Vader 4 Pro as an example. Like, I think the refined controller is better than controllers with crazy new technologies that aren't a standard yet. And I think it's fun to innovate. Sony does that a lot. But even with me, I got to the point recently where I realized the DualShock 5 or DualShock 5 features, or DualSense. Okay. Those features are not as big of a deal to me as a comfortable and feature-rich control, meaning, back buttons, trigger stops, mechanical buttons on the face, tension ring adjustment for the analog depending on what I'm playing. And this is cheaper than a PlayStation controller. So when I see something like this, it's like, okay, well, they're coming out with stuff that's like, is the D-pad going to be refined? Are the analog sticks, and there's no tension rings, and now that's like a new quality of life improvement. Man, words today. I approve. Dang. I tell you guys, I'm out. It's just I do like the touchpad idea. I think there's something that could be done there. So, let's see. Let me go back to chat real quick. Turmoil is what Xbox is still going through since the X1 launched. Maybe. I think Xbox's situation's a little different. I think their internal sort of, it's almost like Netflix, where they kind of let companies do what they want, and sometimes games come out really good, sometimes bad. At the end of the day, Xbox has Game Pass and cloud streaming and backwards compatibility, which, if you look at strictly gameplay experiences, Xbox offers more than PlayStation. Because I can be on a ROG Ally, I can be on my Xbox, I can be on my PC, and I can play backwards compatible Xbox games, games on Game Pass in the cloud. So I think what Xbox has been doing is playing it safe, just because you could see with Sony and Nintendo delaying the release of the Switch 2, the whole video game industry is in turmoil. And yeah, it's very interesting what's going on with that. I feel like if he wanted to relax try, he'd just have done it publicly normally, yeah. Again, being a PlayStation blog makes it kind of strange. If he says relax retire, then that can impact the stock market. Well, it's going to be the same either way. Because he's not going to be there anymore. Most CEOs are short-term after all, especially with the larger company. Yeah, curious what Sony's going to do about that, since they're going the way of Warner Brothers by having the dual CEO role, which I think makes sense. But he was always in a specific position at Sony. He was more about, he was the one that was like bringing the games, to the console. And there was certain times where he even had issues with Sony, because I think it was in the early 2000s, they had a new mandate about no 2D games. No new 2D games. And so he had to deal with that, and they finally got over that. That was interesting. That's when we started seeing a bunch of 2D games come to Xbox. Remember Xbox 360? It kind of still is. It's one of the best shmup machines. There are more arcade shmups on a 360 than... I mean, they're all now getting ported to PC, but PlayStation was not allowing those games to get released, and that was a big deal to me, because I was a big fan of shmups coming from, playing them on NES and Genesis. It's very interesting. Okay. So I think I'm going to start a game, and hopefully it doesn't. I don't think this game is going to cause a crash. It's a game that just came out on Game Pass that actually has been around. It came out this year on PC back in April. Okay, there we go. It's this Nine Souls. I have no idea what to expect, but we'll do it together. Yeah, I should have prepared this. What can I say about this? What is it? Yeah, this Nine Souls. Well, it's supposed to be a hard Metroidvania, so it kind of seems like my kind of game, but we'll see. Okay, there we go. Loading up. And I'm curious, is this another Chinese like game? And I say another because it seems to be, with Black Myth Wukong too, a lot of there's a lot of these games like Akara Blade Point or something, I don't know, where there's, China's really coming out with a lot of good popular games that look like high production. Yeah, let's just get this started. Difficulty, okay, the default difficulty nice for players seeking challenge, enjoying the fun combat. Players who want to fully enjoy the story. Not about the story, but I feel like I'm going to be forced into it anyway. So that's cool. I feel bad because this looks like really good animation. But I would skip it if I could. And I can't. So I guess we can kind of enjoy this together. I didn't even hear anything. I hear music though. Oh, dang. Wasn't expecting that. Look at the detailed brain matter and guts. Um, okay, I really want to get into some gameplay. This looks cool, but wow. Reminds me of Bow Path of Teal Lotus in art style. Interesting, never heard of that. Let me look that up. Cool. You start by smoking. Okay. Here I could smell your cooking from way out there. Was it the cooking you were smelling? Yeah. Teal Lotus. Wow. Yeah, that looks very similar. I wonder if it's the same developer. Hard to say because they oh, and that came out this year? Interesting. All right. I'm sorry guys, I'm going to have to. Wow, it looks exactly like it. I don't see anything that says it's the same company, but yeah, I'll look it up later. Okay, so right away, you have to use analog. You can't use the D-pad, but it feels good. Interesting. Dead person's note. Let's see. I found the exit, but there's no way to go back now. Oh, that's sad. All right. I mean, it feels good. Okay. All right. It looks like I'll be doing some platforming. All right, this is getting boring. Am I that bad? Do I have ADHD or something? Because it just teased me with combat. I got to swing my sword around and jump, and then it's like, here's a warthog doing something. Oh, I clicked on a choice. I don't even know what I said. I hope it's not redo everything. Let's see, is there something over here? No. Okay, so you do have to jump up here, which I'm cool with. All right. Wall run. Okay, so wherever that stuff is, it's a wall run. That's neat. That's part for later. Okay, B is like a way to... Let's see. I wonder if you can... No. Okay, I like that it has this degree of platforming, even though I don't play Metroidvanias for the platforming. But I'm going to give this a shot. Oh, did it? So you have to be close to the stuff to pick it up. If I do, yeah, 3-hit combo, I can take him out. Yeah, even if I only hit them with one, or the last... Oh, not good. Okay, and then... Oh, that block looks awesome. That is the coolest block I have seen in an action game. Okay. See if... No, it doesn't do anything. And there's just something over here. Okay, probably come back to that. I really like the animation. You know, I'm not crazy about being little animal characters, but... Do I need to kill this guy? Let's see what that does. Oh, okay. Cool. Interesting. Yeah, yeah, the hand-drawn look is really cool, especially where it's almost like a mix of doing it traditionally, but even where it has more of the Flash game style, where it's like an element is just being rotated, but they're hiding it well. I feel so dirty for skipping chat, and it's just I just want to get into some action. Which I still think I'm not. I think it's like, oh, here's the town folk. You have to go talk to everyone. I like how slow you're walking. Like you're that, what, lone swordsman coming into town. I bet this is a cool story. And I do that sometimes. Like, if I'm playing a game and then I start being like, okay, there's an interesting story here. What's going on? I will kind of stop, go back, or read things online or something. I wonder if I can just walk past him and just go into the world and... No. Here we go. Let's see. Speaking of animal characters, though I want a Puss in Boots Last Wish game so bad, I want to make it myself in a Soulsy style with Goldie, Jack Horner, and the wolf and boss fights. I don't think I've seen that one, but that seems like a good idea, just because of the character. It seems like it's fit for an action game like that. Do it. Do it. Okay, that sounded like Scarface. Alright, and you know what? It's that time where I gotta go. I can't be doing this too long. I just wish we got into some more action, but at least we gotta look at this game, Nine Souls, that's on Xbox Game Pass right now. That has great art style, great controls so far. It seems to have what I would consider a high production value for a 2D game. Just gonna... Okay, that's pretty cool. This guy's got some magic. Okay, if it was an emergency and I needed to leave, I couldn't because none of the buttons are doing anything right now. Blossom Village, the night of the ceremony. Oh. Incoming signal. Very neat how much this is like sci-fi in a way. Oh, here you go. Here's the Metal Gear Solid stuff. Okay. Wow, the sound is really well done. I don't know how high it is on there, but... You know what? I'm kind of mesmerized by all this. I don't think I'm supposed to leave yet. Anyway, I have to leave, though. I thought that was pretty cool. You know, when it comes to streaming a game on this show, sometimes it's hard if it's a talkie game. I kind of want to be able to show off, like, combat and stuff, but I still think that looked cool. The art style, the controls were actually really good. And again, this is on Game Pass, but I think it's also on PS5. I don't know if it's on Switch, but I do know it's on PC, is what I meant to say, so. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. I'll probably be doing this tomorrow if I wake up early and there's nothing going on, so, yeah, I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving, and we'll talk later.